Hello, welcome to another episode of Forgotten Cemeteries, Pacific Northwest. Today we're at Buxton Cemetery, located in Manning, Oregon, Washington County. And quite the drive to get out here. It's kind of out in the woods and farm country. Alternative names of the cemetery include Buxton Catholic, Buxton Protestant, St. Thomas, Buxton Community. You may be wondering why Catholic and Protestant are alternative names, being they have two different views on the meaning of the Bible, but we'll find out soon because I was a little interested in that as well. Buxton Catholic, specifically, alternative name was St. Thomas, but Protestant was not. So let's go meet some of the local residents and hear their story. Alright, a little history about the cemetery. From my understanding, the first burial was around 1889. Sign says 1898 as an establishment date. One website said 1890. I usually just go with the sign. So there's an estimated 100 to 500 burials per the Oregon Burial Site Guide. I think Find a Grave was showing around 668 entered so far. Maybe that was memorials. Trying to remember off the top of my head, but we got this road down the center, and there's a reason for that. I believe they refer to this as Buxton Cemetery Road. The Oregon Burial Site Guide mentions this is the division of the two religious parties. And reading the description, it said on the left we have the Protestants who established their side in 1888, and on the right we have the Catholics establishing their side in 1901. Who will win the Battle of the Bible here? So I was wondering what the difference was between Catholic and Protestant Bibles. I guess both include about 27 books in the New Testament. The Protestant Bibles have only 39 books in the Old Testament. However, while Catholic Bibles have 46. The 7 books included in the Catholic Bibles are Tobit, Judith, 1 and 2, Maccabees, oh boy, Wisdom, Sirach, and Baruch. And I'm sure someone's going to comment on out there and be like, you totally massacred those names, so apologies, I am not a religious expert. Catholic Bibles also include sections in the books of Esther and Daniel, which are not found in the Protestant Bibles. These books are called the, oh boy, Deuterocanonical books. The Catholic Church believes these books to be inspired by the Holy Spirit. So, nice little religious piece of information there, and apologies, I am not the best speaker and pronunciator, as you just heard. Buxton Cemetery was named after the Buxton family. Henry Buxton, who came in this area about 1884, donated land for this cemetery use. I read that he was also appointed Buxton's first postmaster in 1886. Henry was the son of Henry T. Buxton Sr., one of Washington County's first pioneers in the area in 1841. Now there's no Buxtons here that I know of, and interestingly enough, Mountain View Memorial Gardens located in Forest Grove was referred to Buxton Cemetery back then, so that was a little confusing to read about. Apparently this was like a misnaming, as the Ketching family donated land for that cemetery. There is a lot in the cemetery referred to as a potter's field. Basically what that means is it's just unknown or unclaimed individuals. Too poor, or they just couldn't afford a headstone, I'm guessing. So let's go walk around and hear some stories. This looks like a good one. First stop would be Private Alva H Schofield. I think that's how you say that. He was born in 1833 in Ohio. He is a Civil War vet serving in the 54th Ohio Infantry Regiment. Looks like they had about 21 engagements overall and saw a lot of action reading up on them. One of the more famous ones was the Siege of Vicksburg in 1863. The Ohio Infantry was involved with the May 19th and May 22nd assaults, from what I read. The Union side was led by General Grant, actually, who led an assault on Vicksburg, which was the last major Confederate stronghold on the Mississippi River, from my readings. Grant would lay siege on the city for 40 days, depleting the Confederate supplies. The Confederates apparently lost more than 32,000 soldiers during the siege. The Confederate loss is considered one of the big turning points in the war. Looks like Alva took part in that, perhaps. Took me a while to find Ambrose here, Schmidlin, his last name, and there's Schmidlins on the other side, and I don't know, the headstones look similar, but found him over here, and he was born in 1855 in Switzerland. Ambrose was apparently a tank. Legend has it that he carried a stove on his back 3 miles from Conakar Camp back to his house. Must have really wanted dinner. Stoves back then were cast iron, I believe, so if true, that's pretty incredible. And here we have John Henry Rinck, and I'm hoping to put a photo in the video from the Washington County Heritage Society. They were pretty cool when I contacted them about using images in my video, because there's 2 I want to use. I think you have to pay like a couple bucks, and that's only fair, and it's probably going to a good cause. So in that photo that I'm hoping to get a hold of, it's from Old Buxton from 1906, and they mentioned in the footnotes that John Henry Rinck's store is in the photo. Looking him up, he ran a general store, and it shows him immigrating to the US in 1866 from Germany. Something new I learned is that some of the old records, I kind of have access now to Ancestry, so I'm getting a bit more accurate with my information, which is good, because I think I've made mistakes in the past trusting stuff and blah blah blah. So I'm hoping to get better about that, but that's how you learn, right? But they have this column from like the 1910 census, I believe they did around here, and it says you're supposed to mark if you're the survivor of the Union Army, UA, Confederate Army, CA, or Confederate Navy, CN. John had entered UA, so perhaps he served in the Union Army during the Civil War, but I couldn't find what specific state or regiment. Sadly, Donald McPherson's headstone is kind of fell in battle here. Not sure if it's vandalism or just old age or nature. I can see the kind of the earth growing around it. So, however, Donald McPherson was born in Fort Colville, Washington in 1845, and Donald's father was actually a big name at Fort Scappoose. He was employed by the Hudson Bay Company, which was the big fur trading post back then. Obviously, you probably are familiar with that by now if you watch my videos. His father was also captain of the schools at Fort Scappoose. That's a tough one. Definitely the toughest to find so far was Robert T. Simpson's headstone, because on Find a Grave it looked massive, and then I came up and it was like kind of one of the lower ones to the ground. But I found it, and Robert here was born in Canada in 1865. Earlier I mentioned the Washington County Heritage Group that has photos of Buxton from back in the day. I think it was like 1906, the one photo. But I believe we found the correct Robert here, and like I said, I'm going to hopefully put the picture up. He matches the description perfectly from this one document from the 1910 federal census. Shows him coming to the US in 1882. Parents born in Canada, which is true for Robert here, and he was also born in Canada. And Robert is actually listed as being a saloon owner during that time in Buxton, so hopefully we're seeing it in the picture right now. And what I think is our last stop, but sometimes I see a headstone and I get curious and I look up the story real quick. But Romeo Stephen Bullock is buried right here. He is a Civil War vet, more specifically a musician. So we have our second one, and we just saw Daniel Hutchinson from Arcade Cemetery. Romeo served with the 1st Michigan Infantry, Company C. He was then promoted from private to musician, apparently. I found this roster list and discovered Romeo was about 19 when he joined the Union Army. His crew was out of Branch County, Michigan, but Romeo was specifically out of Wayne County. Some of the company's nicknames for the 1st Michigan Regiment included the Detroit Light Guard, the Jackson's Gray, the Coldwater Cadets, the Manchester Union Guards, the Steuben Guard, the Michigan Hussars, the Burr Oak Guard, the, oh boy, Ypsilanti Light Guard, that was a tough one to say, the Marshall Light Guard, and the Hardy Cadets. Overall, the 1st Michigan Infantry took part in about 10 corps battles, including Gettysburg, the Wilderness, Fredericksburg, Cold Harbor, and Petersburg from my readings. More specifically, the Battle of Antietam, but I had a tough time saying that one too, but the alternative name is Battle of Sharpsburg, which took place on Union soil. The Battle of Sharpsburg remains the bloodiest single day in American history. 23,000 men lost their lives on September 17th, 1862 from my readings. This battle would showcase Robert E. Lee versus George B. McClennan. George McClennan had a big resume, being an American soldier, Civil War Union general, civil engineer, railroad executive, and politician who served as the 24th governor of New Jersey. Pretty big resume there. It was interesting because both sides suffered heavy losses, and in the end, Lee would retreat back to Virginia. And McClennan prevented the invasion of Maryland during the time. For some reason, he also refused to pursue Lee. I don't know if he just saw so many losses, he was getting concerned, but I guess McClennan was like kind of criticized during this time. And McClennan and President Lincoln during the time were not trusting of each other, and McClennan used to mock him a lot, apparently. Lincoln would actually remove McClennan from command. However, the Union strategic victory caused Lincoln to announce the Emancipation Proclamation a few days later after this war, or after this battle. McClennan did try to run against Lincoln in the 1864 election, and I'll try to put up an election map result in the video, but it shows most of the nation was for Lincoln in looking at that map. And I guess most historians judge McClennan as a poor field general and has been heavily criticized. However, one bit of info I came across is McClennan was known for having a great relationship with his troops and known for his organizational abilities. And it makes me wonder if Romeo and him talked at one time. And I thought I had the last stop, but there was another Civil War vet, I'm guessing, just about, 10 yards away from Romeo that we just talked about. So this is F.M. McDaniel. He was born in 1843. I can't find a birth date. I'm kind of making this up as I go, reading up on Find a Grave about him. But it looks like he served in Company H of the 56th Illinois Infantry. It shows him dying in 1903 at the, I guess by today's standard, at the young age of 59 to about 60 years old. But yeah, maybe I'll find something on him and put it in the video description. Just wanted to stop by his grave real quick. Alright, time for the fun part, the cemetery tour. It is a little out in the woods, I'd say. It's off a main road going out to the coast in Oregon, but take a road off that main road and kind of go through a little neighborhood. Not really a neighborhood, I'd say. But there's a gravel road and there's plenty of parking, because I don't think anyone's visiting this one. That seems to be a common theme for us, huh? But I'd say it's pretty well taken care of for the most part. I haven't seen the vandalism that we've seen at other places, but somebody had a good time. Is that oh god, is that a bad beer? Keystone. Ugh. Anyway, I guess I shouldn't talk. I like Rolling Rock beer, and everyone I know hates Rolling Rock beer. But I lived in Pittsburgh for a little bit, and it kind of grew on me. I'm sure it's river water. I watch some Rolling Rock executive's gonna watch this and thumbs down my video, leave a nasty comment. It's really pretty. There's like a little solar powder thing there. I wonder what it looks like at night. We got way back here. This side of the cemetery seems to have a lot more less than that other side. And like I said, I can't remember which side's Protestant and which one's Catholic. But I said it earlier in the video, so hopefully that's accurate. Stony. Those are some early birthdays. Did kind of bring my bear mace for this one, because on the map it looked a little secluded. Like I said, I think it's more for people that you might run into, because it's just based on other experiences at other way out in the country cemeteries. Schmidlin, we talked about Ambrose earlier. I think that's the same thing. He's a World War II veteran. There are some veterans out here, Civil War and World War ones. Again. You can think we have seen Schmidlin on both sides of the cemetery. I'm gonna find out who this is. Wow, this one looks like it was cleaned recently. Maybe it's because it's not facing the sun, I don't know. I wonder what IHS stands for. I guess what we'll do is we'll cover the right side and then go to the left side. We have a Idaho World War I. I think we've seen an Idaho in Hoyen yet, however you say that. It's kind of like, like I said, I don't know if it's vandalism or just old age, but it seems to go after the pillar style ones a lot, where they just kind of get loose from their base. And as I mentioned before, I don't know if like the epoxy just gets weakened over time and gets moisture in there and it slowly just kind of falls over, gets pushed off. Looks like there's used to be a headstone here, unless it's a slot reserved. Sometimes we've seen that. In the corner by themselves is Peterson. So this cemetery is like well set up as far as burials. Seems like they have a lot of plots with, like, you know, kind of like that curb design. Like a tree growing in Joseph Schmeckel. I hope I'm saying that right. Looks like something used to be there. And I'm seeing that on other headstones here, like there used to be some type of medallion, or we've seen before where they put like a picture in there of the individual. Or maybe just the family claims it over time, I don't know. As it similar to the pillar style headstones, maybe it just pushes out, I don't know. There's an old school one. Joe Schmeckel, we just seen the other one. That was a cool last name. 1872, that individual was born. So late 1800s we're seeing. I think, actually we got more on the right side. Let's go visit them. I wonder if there's something there at one time. A statue or some type of marker. And we have Caldwell's here. Looks like she was a musician of some type, not a magician. And we got a logger. On this one, hopefully it shows up on the camera because I can't read a word of it, but I'll leave it there for you guys in case you want to pause the video and try to decipher it. They like seashells. Must have been a fan of the coast, but who isn't? I always like these stones from the World War II. It's really striking, I guess you could say. Oregon, PSCORD, automotive. Oh, cool. World War II. Got a mechanic, I'm guessing. O'Donnell. That sounds very McParland. McParland. I wonder if these people are Irish or Scottish over here. Don't want to differentiate between those two, huh? Start a battle. Born in Germany. Travis Brian Buckmaster. Now that is a cool name. He's got like a little cross in there. Very religious individual, obviously. With a very cool last name, if true. Maybe that's his nickname, I'm not sure. I'm a little suspect, but that is pretty cool. Schmidlin. Another Schmidlin. Must be the big family around here. Another. Oh, these are recent. Kind of working our way towards the back of the cemetery. Back to the forest. I think the more recent ones are in the back. I don't know what these mean. Maybe these are future plots reserved for individuals, I'm guessing. Maybe next to their family. Oh, here's a really cool one. The lion. I need a new jug. That's a good one. I'll take a picture of that one before I leave. Gamroth. I'll check this one out. With a fish on forever. A lot of cool sayings on these ones. Let's see. James D. Smith, the strongest, most honest, caring, and loving man I'll ever know. No. Looks like James died in 2012. Ellen is still alive. No way. Now this is a weird synchronicity. Rolling Rock. Who would have thought? I swear I did not see that earlier. That was not staged. That is so strange. U.S. Army, Vietnam. I'm still laughing about that Rolling Rock. Ones have a lot of symbolism on them, just like some of the similar things we've seen with the deer and the mountain scenery. This person, individual, must have rode horses. That kind of creeped me out a little bit. A little squeaking noise. Well, here we have, I saw this one on Find a Grave of Connie L. White, gone shopping with butterflies and what appears to be a human cat. So she must have been a fun individual. I don't know what that is. It looks like something was mounted there at one time, and a little slot for something. This was a sergeant in the U.S. Army. Let's get someone blowing a horn. Looks like there's a church on that one. And who was the one spinning those little circles? I forget what those are called. Right on command, one of them spins. So this is Skoggs, Nana, and Papa. That's pretty cool. They have the picture of them in the center. I've seen that before, and I have a feeling some of those other ones we saw had one of those like little medallions in them. Maybe they just fall out at one time and the family comes to get them. I'm not sure. So now we can finally go to the other side. Sorry if I'm stopping too much. There's a lot of interesting little headstones here. Some great sayings. We have Melvin Rhodes, World War II Korea, next to the road. Like I said, I think I guess you could say newer individuals are buried towards the back, and then the pioneers are up front by the road. Seems to be maybe Hispanic. Tu estás siempre in my heart. I think that says you will always be in my heart. If my Spanish is good. Oh, that's cool. Check out this Harley Davidson one. Vietnam. This is an interesting one. Old school. Loving memory, James Leslie. Pimpkin, I think that says. And for a while, still doing good. I think this is a Superman symbol right there. That's very cool. That's the first time we've seen something like that. So a little bit of character at this one. And here's a unique one, big plate style. That'll last a long time. Sorry, I keep moving the camera. It's like the angles of the headstones change. Unique one. Let's see what this says. When someone you love becomes a memory, the memory becomes a treasure. That's cool. Big stainless steel crossover there. Looks welded and custom made. Let's go check that guy out. Make a little stop along the way of World War I, California. Engineer division. A unique one. Looks like they kind of did some custom welding and stuff. It's perhaps a stainless steel plate with... Oh, I remember this one with the teddy bears, and someone said that was a reference to the Grateful Dead. I've never listened to them, to be honest. I'm sure that surprises someone out there. I was never into them. Kind of into cliche Def Leppard, that type of deal. But I am open to listen to anything. The Grateful Dead, I don't know if I've ever listened to them. Crother. World War II. And the baby. Whoa. Pretty big epic headstone in the back, memorial of Kathy Ellen Jackson. That's a good one. Looks like I wonder if she raced horses. Check that out. It's like a little racehorse thing, and then there's a horse over there too. Another switch around. Peterson. And what is this? Probably the most unique memorial in this cemetery is of Barbara L. Nice. Got a little archway with ivy or something growing on it. Pretty flowers. Don't think we've seen this yet, but I believe that's a cat there. Cat references here. Well, only two, I should say. Robert E. Trussell, and it looks like he was a motorcyclist. Maybe he was a racer too. Not sure. Maybe just really like motorcycles. Korea, one. I haven't seen that yet. A painter, Ginger Trussell, and a lighthouse. Oh, looks like will be another individual on there. I'm not sure. Soon. There used to be something there. You see now, here's a little baby that didn't last, only a few months old, with a little lamb on top that I originally thought was a pet grave at Buxton Cemetery. That was my mistake. So now we know that. I guess that's how you learn. Just make mistakes. It's alright. There's another, appears to be a young one. I'm not sure. Travel up this way because there is a flagpole here. It's not an American flag, but if you look towards the top, there's kind of an eagle up there on the top of it, and I think there's like a little memorial over here of in living memory of all veterans of wars, both foreign and domestic. And McDaniels are buried next to it, so I wonder who dedicated that. I wonder if that was their family. Or maybe it was just convenient because it's located next to the road. Not sure. And there's that gate design that we've seen a couple times in our travels. And this one, I was talking with another YouTuber. I suggest you check out their channel. I'll try to put a link in the notes of this kind of little pyramid design. It's like a square turned on its side. It just seems to be a rarity of a design. Andrew Sanders, Oregon, 4th Cavalry. There's our buddy Romeo. Almost to the end. Block. Probably related to Romeo. I believe that was his last name, right? Bullock. see young deaths here. Well, maybe not. Well, yeah. Son of Archie Davis and wife, and 10 years old. Another young death of Archie Davis and wife. So both of their children died at very young. That's not good. We talked about a little bit about McDaniel. I didn't see anything written up. I wish I would have did more research on him, so apologies. That's the fun of coming to the cemetery. You can come along and you discover something. This U.S. Navy, World War II. Oh, Beverly. What MM1 means. So here's we have a female war vet here. I can tell already this looks like some type of military one. And yeah, Bergholzer, Oregon, fireman. Oh wow, like the U.S. Navy. This whole row is Buxholzer, however you say that. Apologies the tour is so long. There appears to be a lot to look at here, so hopefully I'm not rambling too much. We talked about John Rinck here. I believe his wife is right here, Anna Rinck. And there's a gated community up here. We won't open it. Let's see who that is. It's like Rosanna Feld. Go check out that big headstone in the back. Pretty intricate design there, huh? Wilhelm on the back. Oh, there's the last name. Felt. Who's this individual? Another Felt. Emil. Pretty cool. This is well organized. Tolk. I don't know how to say that. I'm guessing that they still live around here. Maybe. Not sure. Crawford was a very popular last name, I believe, in the cemetery. You can see they have... What is that thing? See that big bug flying around? Snapping? Good Lord. Anyways, here we have Lewis Crawford, 1891. Angus Crawford. That's very old school. And there's another Crawford over here. And there's two headstones over by the road I'm going to show you. Those are worn out or something. I don't know. I'll have to go check them out. That's these two over here by my truck. Ay. What happened here? Man, it almost feels hollow when I touch it. Like, I don't even want to touch it now because I feel like it's going to crumble, and it is crumbling. Wow. Whatever material that is, it definitely crumbles. And this is from 1985, and I can't even read the name. It looks like Swanson. As you can see, eroding in time. It was one of the stranger headstones we've seen. Anywho, that concludes the tour. I don't take any tips. It's more just for you guys' viewing pleasure. So I hope you enjoyed the video. This was a good one. I highly suggest this one. It's very quiet besides me talking, which if you visit, you won't have to hear me talking. You can just walk around. Anyways, hope you enjoyed it. Have a great day and stay safe.